Alright, hey guys, Mark from Soul Adventure. Wanted to do a quick video today looking at draw length on your bow. Just because your bow says it's, a 28 inch draw, 29 inch draw, whatever it says, doesn't mean that the draw length is accurate. Different manufacturers run differently. If your bow gets out of tune, the draw length could change, either shorter or longer. So I want to look at building a draw arrow. Once we build this draw arrow, we'll be able to use it on any bow and check the actual draw length of that bow. So to get started, all you're going to need is your bow, an extra arrow. It's good to use one you just have sitting around and don't need anymore. Some painter's tape or masking tape, a tape measure, a bow square if you have one. If not, the tape measure is fine, a marker, and at some point you're going to need a partner. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start our measuring. The standard for draw length is called an AMO draw length, and it's actually a calculation, not a measurement. We'll get to that, it'll make sense in a second. But what we're looking for is, at this point, we want to grab the measurement from the throat of the back of the grip, or the pivot point of the grip, back to the string. And we want to get the string where a nock would intersect that string when an arrow is nocked. So really, you probably, if you're familiar with things, may notice that this is also what is called our brace height measurement. So using a bow square, you could easily use a tape measure. You would find that deepest part of the grip right up in here. This is an elite answer. It is a 7-inch brace height bow, and it is measuring exactly 7 inches, which you may or may not be able to see on the bow square right there. So once I know that number, 7 inches from the string to the deepest part of the grip, I want to then come up again with my tape measure or my bow square, and I want to make a line where an arrow would intersect. So as I'm going to draw the bow here in a second with my partner, I basically want to make a mark at that 7-inch point, but I want to do it in a place on the bow where the arrow could easily be marked to match. So right up here, you notice I've taken my painter's tape. The back side of this painter's tape I have lined up with that 7-inch mark. So again, measure from string to the deepest part of the grip, get that number, come up, measure from D-loop to that same number, in our case, 7 inches. Okay, now we're going to get that arrow out. As I mentioned, use an extra arrow if you can. What I've done is taken blue painter's tape and wrapped it around the entire length of the arrow, because we're going to mark on the painter's tape. So one, you're not ruining the arrow, and two, you don't have to have a special white or silver marker to mark on the black carbon. So this is the point where you want to get a partner involved. I don't have one now, but I'm going to explain what you do. It's incredibly simple. You want to nock that arrow. You want to come to full draw. This is where you need the partner. You are going to draw the bow, anchor as you normally would, come to full draw, and obviously your arrow is going to be coming back. What you want to do is have your partner mark the intersection point. So the back side of the tape was our 7-inch point. We want to have that partner mark at that point. So let's say our arrow comes back that far, we're at full draw. We just want to mark the arrow where it intersects with the back side of our tape, which is our 7-inch number. That's all we need to do for now. We're practically done. Let's go ahead and talk about getting the actual draw length from this marking. Alright, so in this next step we have our marked arrow. I made my mark right here. I did that previously, so that's where my arrow intersected the tape that was on my bow at full draw. And now we're really ready to begin. So what we want to do is measure from the point that we marked at full draw on our arrow back to the throat of the nock. So inside the nock, where the nock would clip on the string, we want to measure that. So you can't see the front, but I'm going to line up my marking on the arrow with the front of the tape measure, and then look right back here at my throat of the nock. Let me go ahead and maybe zoom in for you guys a little bit. It is exactly 28 inches. Where the string would clip into the nock is exactly 28 inches. But this is where things get tricky. My bow is not a 28-inch bow, and it is not drawing 28 inches. So why is it measuring 28 inches? Let's bring this all together. Alright, so we just found out that my arrow, when we measured from the point where it intersected the pivot point of the grip back to the throat where the knot clips on the string, is 28 inches. But the AMO draw length specification says that the draw length is this measurement plus 1.75 inches. So 28, the number we measured, plus 1.75 means that this bow is drawing 29.75 inches. It's a 30-inch bow. It is measuring 1/4 of an inch short, which I actually knew. I knew that going into this. This method is right on. It's accurate. And now what you can do is take this arrow and then line it up with your tape measure. You have one mark, and you just want to begin to basically duplicate the tape measure on this arrow. So every 1/4 inch you want to begin to make marks, and then now that you have that and you label those, you can use this arrow to check the draw length of any bow. All you do is find that pivot point of the grip, mark it on the riser, use this arrow, come to full draw, and get the reading. So that's it. Creating a draw arrow is really simple. You just need a tape measure, an arrow, some tape, a marker, your bow, and a friend for just 1 second to mark that intersection point. I have all this in writing, maybe with some pictures and things that'll help make more sense if you want to review it in that way. Just check out the link below if you're not already viewing this video on that page. Thanks for watching. SoulAdventure.com.